Lila Harper didn't plan to text a billionaire at 2:17 a.m. She only wanted her daughter to stop crying. The apartment was dark, except for the glow of the refrigerator light she kept open for comfort. Outside, rain slapped against the cheap windows of her third-floor walk-up in the old industrial district. Sophie's wails cut through the thin walls like tiny knives. At 18 months, Sophie didn't understand why the milk was watered down again, or why the last diaper had been stretched thin with a folded paper towel insert. Lila sat on the cracked linoleum floor, legs pulled to her chest, rocking her daughter against her shoulder. "Shh, baby girl, Mama's here. We're gonna be okay." Her voice cracked. She hadn't slept more than 3 hours straight in weeks. Her phone lay on the counter, screen still open to the last desperate message she'd almost sent her ex, Derek. "Derek, I know it's late, but Sophie needs diapers and milk. Just $40. I swear I'll pay you back when the check clears." She'd deleted it twice already. Derek's last reply 3 months ago had been brutal. "Stop using the kid as an excuse. I'm done." Tonight wasn't about pride anymore. It was about Sophie's red, chapped cheeks and the way her little body trembled from hunger and exhaustion. Lila's thumb hovered. She typed the number from memory. Derek's, or what she thought was his. 1 digit off? She didn't notice. She hit send before she could overthink it. "Hey, I'm so sorry to bother you again. Sophie's out of diapers and the milk is gone. Just need enough for basics tonight. I get paid Friday. Promise, I'll pay it back. Please." She set the phone down, buried her face in Sophie's soft curls, and waited for the silence or the rejection that usually followed. 5 minutes later, her phone buzzed. "I think you meant to send that to someone else." Lila's stomach dropped. She stared at the unfamiliar number, horror washing over her. Wrong number. God, not now. Her hand shook as she typed back quickly. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Please ignore that. Wrong person." She locked the screen and tossed the phone onto the couch like it might burn her. Sophie whimpered again. Lila stood, pacing the tiny living room, humming an off-key lullaby while tears stung her eyes. Another failure added to the pile. 3 miles away, in the top-floor penthouse of a sleek glass tower overlooking the river, Ethan Calder stared at the message on his private phone. Almost no one had this number. Not business associates, not the press, only a handful of family and his head of security. He rarely checked it after midnight. The text wasn't a scam. It didn't ask for crypto or promise riches. It was raw. Sophie's out of diapers. A mother, exhausted, bargaining with whatever dignity she had left for her child. Ethan's thumb hovered over the delete button. Most nights, he would have. He'd learned early that the world took and took until nothing was left. But something in the simplicity of it, the quiet desperation, hit the hollow place he usually kept locked. He typed back before he could stop himself. "Is the baby eating tonight?" Lila blinked at the reply, heart hammering. What kind of stranger followed up? Her first instinct was to block the number, but the question was so plain, so direct, it made her pause. "We'll manage," she wrote back. "Sorry again for the mix-up." The next message came faster. "I can help. No strings." She scoffed aloud in the dark apartment, the sound bitter. "Thanks, but I don't take money from strangers." "Smart. I'm Ethan now, not a stranger anymore." Lila didn't reply right away. She rocked Sophie until the cries finally quieted into hiccuping breaths. Only then did she let herself cry. Quiet, shaking sobs for the kind of tired that went bone deep. Being broke wasn't new. Being alone in it was what broke her most nights. She stared at the chat. Then, against every instinct screaming at her, she sent her Venmo handle, just in case, just for Sophie. 30 seconds later, her phone buzzed with a notification. $2,500 received from Ethan Calder. Lila sat frozen on the floor, staring at the screen until the numbers blurred. She checked the app 3 times. It was real. Her hands trembled so badly she could barely type. This is too much. I only needed enough for diapers and milk tonight. The reply was immediate. It's already yours. No catch. One less thing for you to carry tonight. She didn't cry when Derek left. She didn't cry when her parents' old car finally died. But this kindness from a void, shattered something in her. Thank you, she typed, tears dripping onto the screen. I don't even know what to say. You don't have to. Just take care of Sophie. She noticed it then. She had never told him her daughter's name. Lila couldn't sleep. Even after Sophie finally settled with a belly full of the emergency formula she'd scraped together earlier, Lila sat on the edge of her pull-out couch, phone clutched like a lifeline. $2,500, enough to cover rent, groceries for weeks, maybe even new shoes for Sophie, whose feet were growing too fast. She opened the chat again. You didn't have to do that. A pause. Then, I know, I wanted to. Across the city, Ethan leaned back in the leather chair in his home office, the skyline glittering coldly beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows. The penthouse was beautiful, expensive, empty. It had felt that way since his little sister, Mia, died at 12 from a rare illness that money couldn't fix fast enough back then. He'd built automated grocery empires, Calder markets, with AI-driven supply chains and drone delivery, to make sure no one ever had to choose between medicine and food again. But the quiet night still echoed. Her next message came hesitantly. Why would you help someone like me? You don't even know me. He stared at it longer than he should have. Most people who reached him wanted investments, favors, or headlines. This was honest, because I know what it's like when the people who are supposed to help don't. Someone helped me once when I was younger. I never forgot it. Another pause. I want to pay you back. For what? For the kindness. For not ignoring me. His jaw tightened. She wasn't asking for more. No hints at rent or jobs. Just pride, even while drowning. He respected that. Tell me what Sophie needs most right now. Not money, supplies. I'll have them sent. Lila hesitated, then typed the list. Specific diapers, sensitive skin wipes, whole milk, simple baby food pouches. Nothing extravagant. The next morning, a knock came at 9 a.m. Lila peeked through the peephole, heart racing. A delivery driver stood with a stack of boxes and a sturdy new stroller folded beside them. Delivery for Lila Harper? She signed, numb. Inside the boxes, everything she'd listed, plus extras, soft onesies, a warm blanket, organic snacks, even a small nightlight shaped like a moon. At the bottom, a plain card. Sophie deserves to sleep through the night. Ethan. No logo. No way to trace it easily. Lila sat on the floor, surrounded by the gifts, Sophie crawling happily over the new blanket, and felt that strange warmth, gratitude mixed with wary suspicion. Who was this man? She typed his name into a search bar later that afternoon while Sophie napped. Ethan Calder, founder and CEO of Calder Markets, net worth in the billions. Reclusive tech innovator who revolutionized automated grocery logistics with AI. Media shy, rarely photographed, lost his younger sister to childhood leukemia years ago. No public relationships. Known for quiet philanthropy in food security, but never flashy. Lila's stomach flipped. This wasn't a generous stranger. This was a man who built systems so no one went hungry. Why her? She messaged him again. Why are you really doing this? His reply came after 20 minutes. Because no child should ever feel that kind of hunger or fear. And because I remember what it felt like when my family couldn't fix what was breaking. It wasn't pity, it was recognition. Their texts grew from there. Late nights when Sophie was finally asleep, Ethan would ask simple questions. Did she eat well today? Lila would share small victories, a first solid food smile, a new word, Mama, finally sticking. In return, he opened up in fragments how Mia had loved strawberry milk, how the hospital bills had nearly broken their single mother before the company took off, how building the AI supply chains had been his way of rewriting that pain. One night, after a particularly hard day at her part-time cafe job, Lila typed, I lost my parents when I was 19. Car accident. Been on my own since. Sophie's dad left when he found out I was pregnant. It's just us. Ethan's response was quiet. You're not just us anymore if you don't want to be. I'm here. No pressure. He offered her a job 2 weeks later. Flexible remote analyst position in his supply chain optimization team. You mentioned in one of your old social posts that you studied data analytics before everything happened. Come work with the numbers. Bring Sophie's schedule into account. No judgment. Lila hesitated for days, but the pay was fair, the hours flexible, and the remote setup meant she could keep Sophie with her. She accepted. Her first official day, she logged in from her tiny kitchen table while Sophie played with new blocks on the rug. The systems were sophisticated. AI predicting demand, routing deliveries, minimizing waste. Lila dove in, her old skills clicking back like muscle memory. She spotted small anomalies almost immediately. Minor inventory discrepancies in certain regional hubs, slight delays in perishable tracking that didn't quite add up to normal variance. She messaged Ethan privately. He'd given her a direct, secure line. Not trying to overstep on day one, but there are some odd patterns in the Midwest fulfillment data. Nothing huge, but consistent enough to notice. His reply was prompt. Dig if you want. Quietly, bring anything unusual straight to me. That was the beginning of the tension. Over the next weeks, their connection deepened beyond work. Ethan started sending voice notes, low, calm timbre that made Lila's shoulders relax. He asked about Sophie's favorite songs. Once, he arranged for a pediatric nutritionist to review Sophie's growth chart anonymously after Lila mentioned a stubborn ear infection. Small acts, never overwhelming. Lila found herself looking forward to the late-night check-ins. Sophie said effin' today, while pointing at the delivery truck outside. Close enough? His reply included a rare emoji, a simple smile. Close enough. Tell her I said hi. Meanwhile, the anomalies in the AI system grew clearer to Lila. Subtle data poisoning. Someone was injecting small errors into the predictive models, causing overstock in low-demand areas and shortages in high-need neighborhoods. It looked like sabotage, targeted to erode trust in the automated system without triggering major alerts. Millions in potential losses if it scaled. Someone inside knew the algorithms intimately. She compiled a private report and brought it to Ethan during their first video call. His face filled the screen, sharp jaw, tired eyes, dark hair slightly disheveled from a long day. Handsome in a quiet, lived-in way, not polished for cameras. You're right, he said, voice low. This isn't random. It's someone who helped build the core model. Lila's pulse quickened. You suspected? I felt the drift, couldn't pin it. You see things others miss because you're not blinded by the usual patterns. They teamed up quietly. Ethan trusted few people. Lila owed him nothing but respected the mission. Late nights turned into strategy sessions. Sophie would babble in the background, and Ethan's face would soften every time. One evening, after Sophie had gone down, Lila confessed over the call. "I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. People don't just help like this." Ethan looked directly into the camera. "I'm not most people. And you're not a project, Lila. You're the first person in years who makes the quiet feel less empty." The air between them shifted. Not dramatic, just real. The sabotage escalated. A major perishable shipment nearly spoiled due to rerouted cooling data. Ethan's board grew restless. Rumors swirled of internal leaks. Lila dug deeper from her remote setup, cross-referencing access logs. The fingerprints pointed to Marcus Reed, a senior AI engineer who had joined 2 years earlier. Charming, ambitious, with subtle resentment toward Ethan's hands-off leadership style. When Lila presented the evidence, Ethan's jaw tightened. He pushed for more autonomy on the model updates. I gave it. They planned carefully. No public accusations yet. Ethan scheduled a private review meeting. Lila monitored from afar, heart in her throat. The confrontation happened over a secure call Lila was looped into discreetly. Marcus denied everything at first, smooth and confident. Then Ethan laid out the logs, the injected code patterns, the financial trails. "You thought the system was too complex for anyone new to notice," Ethan said calmly. "You underestimated her." Marcus laughed coldly. "The single mom you plucked from nowhere? Cute redemption arc, but the board will see this as your distraction. Grief making you sloppy again." Lila's blood ran hot, but she stayed silent. Ethan didn't rise to it. "The authorities already have the full packet. You're done here." Security escorted Marcus out. Federal investigators moved in quietly the next day. The sabotage had been part of a larger play. Marcus had been selling insider tweaks to a competitor looking to disrupt Calder Market's dominance in automated delivery. In the aftermath, the company stabilized. Ethan publicly credited an internal analyst team without naming Lila, protecting her privacy. But privately, he told her, "You saved more than the numbers. You reminded me why I built this." Their relationship bloomed slowly after that. Ethan started visiting, first with work reasons, then just to see Sophie. He brought simple things, a tiny raincoat for puddle jumping, fresh strawberries because Mia had loved them. Sophie warmed to him instantly, toddling over with sticky hands and demanding FN up. Lila watched from the kitchen one afternoon as Ethan sat on the worn rug, letting Sophie read him a board book upside down. His laugh was rare and genuine. The guarded billionaire melted around her daughter. One rainy evening, after Sophie was asleep, they sat on Lila's tiny balcony with cheap wine. The city lights blurred in the downpour. "Do you ever think about how weird this is?" Lila asked softly. "One wrong digit." Ethan turned to her, eyes steady. "I think it was the first right thing in a long time. You walked into my world carrying more weight than anyone should, and you still saw the cracks in my system that I missed. You make me want to be better, not just for the company." Lila's throat tightened. "I was drowning when I texted you. Now, I feel like I'm finally swimming." He reached for her hand. "Then let me swim beside you. No strings, just us figuring it out." Their first kiss was tentative. Rain on the balcony, Sophie's nightlight glowing through the window. Slow, careful, full of the weight of two people who had lost too much and found something unexpected. Months later, Lila's role became permanent. Head of ethical AI oversight with full flexibility for Sophie. They moved into a brighter apartment in a safer building. Ethan helped without making it feel like charity. Sophie had a real nursery. Lila had stability. Ethan never pushed. He earned his place, one bedtime story at a time, one late-night text turned into morning coffee runs, one shared silence where grief met healing. On Sophie's second birthday, they had a small gathering. Ethan arrived with a custom cake shaped like a grocery cart full of strawberries. As Sophie blew out the candles, with lots of help, Lila leaned into his side. "Thank you for answering a wrong number," she whispered. He kissed her temple. "Thank you for sending it." Later that night, after Sophie was tucked in with her new stuffed strawberry, Ethan pulled Lila close on the couch. "I love you," he said simply. No grand speech, just truth. Lila smiled against his chest. "I love you too. Both of us do." The empire he built kept running. Smarter, safer, more human because of the woman who had once reached out in desperation at 2 a.m. And the family they formed proved that sometimes the best things start with a single misplaced digit and a quiet reply. "Is the baby eating tonight?"